hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second.
Hey, when you hosted for Diddy, did he catch any baby oil?
I hope somebody did he asked me wrong person and wrong question.
And like everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote, if you
really?
have one, yeah. Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, can't tell that one either. I mean, actually...
Alright, let's get real. For years, Diddy was the guy. He was the center of the party, the mastermind behind these scenes, and the person everyone wanted to be seen with. From late-night Hollywood parties to private jets and red carpets, his circle was stacked with the listers, influencers, and rising stars. People weren't just hanging around Diddy for fun. They were aligning themselves with power, status, and access. Everyone acted like they were a family. Smiles, hugs, collabs, mutual shout-outs, the whole thing. But then the truth started coming out. When Theorist hit, everything changed. Suddenly, people who were in front and center in photos and videos with Diddy were nowhere to be found, there to millions. When silent, some wiped old posts. Others pretended like they never even knew the guy. And then there were ones who didn't just stay quiet, they straight up packed their bags and got out of the country. No statements, no explanations, just vanished. Like the truth couldn't catch up to them if they were on another continent. But Notavarian forgot, and definitely not Justin Bieber. Justin isn't just some bystander in this. He was there, he saw who was around, he saw who benefited. And now, he's had enough of the fake apologies, the sudden amnesia, and the industry silence. Justin knows the names, all of them. He remembers who was kissing up when it was all good, and who disappeared the moment. The headlines flipped. This isn't gossip. This isn't speculation. This is someone who lived through it, who was in those rooms, who saw the mask slip when the camera stopped rolling. And now, for the first time, he's ready to say what others went. He's calling out the cowards, foreigners, the ones who switched sides and pretended they never shared a single minute with the man now at the center of one of the biggest scandals in entertainment. So buckle up, because when Justin Bieber starts naming names, the game changes. This isn't just a boo-woo left, it's about why. And these words might just shake the industry all over again. The fallout from Teddy Sean Diddy Combs scandal just keeps getting messier, and now Justin Bieber is dragging Kevin Hart into the chaos. In a bold and unexpected move, Bieber has reportedly been telling people close to him that Kevin Hart isn't as removed from Diddy's wild world as he wants the public to believe. According to insiders, Bieber feels that Hart is playing both sides. On one hand, he's cracking jokes about Diddy's controversial parties on national television like it's all water under the bridge. But behind the scenes, Justin claims that Kevin used to be one of the main organizers of those very same after parties. Let that sink in. Bieber, who once partied alongside some of these Hollywood heavyweights, isn't buying Hart's new album has nothing to do with me. Act. He's reportedly telling friends that Kevin wasn't just a guest. He was a facilitator, someone who helped coordinate events that now sit under a cloud of allegations. And when things started to unravel for Diddy, Hart didn't speak up. He didn't set their cords straight. He just dipped out and acted like it had nothing to do with him. But here's the kicker. Instead of addressing the rumors or offering any real explanation, Kevin Hart is doing what he does best, turning scandal into stand-up. He's hitting stages and awards shows with a smile, roasting Diddy and poking fun at the whole situation like it's ancient history, like he was never a part of it. Only now, people like Justin is starting to push back. They're asking the question out loud that's been bubbling under the surface. When exactly did Kevin Hart go from party planner to punchline? And is he really as untouched by all this as humans? US to think that question come into full focus at the 2025 BET Awards when Kevin Hart lit up the stage with a savage no-holds-barred roast of Diddy on this notorious after-parties. But for those who've been paying attention, and especially for Bieber, it wasn't just comedy. It was a carefully calculated from a man trying to laugh his way out of something much darker. Kevin Hart did not come to play at the 20,125 Bet Awards. In fact, he came with a mic in one hand and pure fire in the other. On his target, none other than Sean Diddy Combs and the now infamous after-parties that have gone from hip-hop legend to federal investigation fodder from the moment Hart stepped onto the stage at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles. The energy shifted. The audience knew it was going to be a wild ride, and Kevin wasted no time throwing shade with surgical precision. Had cracked that he was intentionally shit down the idea of any but after parties. You heard that right. After parties were canceled. Dead on arrival, buried before the show even ended. Take yours after this. That's why he did this on a Monday. People have got to go to work tomorrow, Hart said to thunderous laughter. And let's be clear, that line wasn't just about preventing hangers. It was a direct shot at that Valkyrie that's long been associated with Diddy's legendary late-night throwdowns. Then came the moment where Hart went all in without flinching. He took the audience deeper into the elephant in the room territory. That's where slippery at them goddamn afterbees, he joked, letting that crowd fully lean into the awkward truth of Virian's been dancing around. The delivery was crisp, the subtext was loud. And the baby oil reference, let's just say Kevin knew exactly what he was doing, and just like that, Kevin Hart ran from the room from a glam Philadards show into a roast with real consequences. We're learning a lot about people, aren't we? He added with a smirk, hitting the punchline like casual but cutting. But let's not forget this wasn't just some distant commentary from a disconnected observer. Kevin himself once hosted one of Diddy's notorious parties back in the day. There's video proof. There are receipts, and when that old footage recent lyricist, the hot tubs, the fire hazard, the chaos. Hart played coy, headed questions. He stayed quiet, but not anymore. This monologue wasn't just jokes. It was a statement, a public pivot. A man who used to be on stage with Diddy is now using his own stage to create distance. And it raised questions. Was Hart trying to save face? Before the subpoenas started flying, this is his way of drawing the line between himself and whatever might come crashing down next? Or was he simply giving that crowd what they wanted, raw honesty wrapped in laughter? Whatever his motivation was, one thing is clear. Kevin Hart knows how to command a room, and in a moment when so many celebrities are staying silent or fleeing the country altogether, he chose the spotlight and used it to throw a few punches disguised as punchlines. The fact that reps for both Hart and Kameshev stayed silent on the matter only adds to the suspense. But in the court of public opinion, Hart might have just delivered the opening argument of the year. And if Diddy's ears were ringing that night, this should have been because Kevin Hart just sent a message in national television, and everyone heard it loud and clear. While Kevin Hart has recently been leaning into comedy to distance himself from the mess surrounding Sean Diddy Combs, old footage and new whispers are making it harder for him to keep that facade intact. Back in the spotlight thanks to his sharp opening monologue at the 2015 BT Awards. Hart's name has been circling Diddy drama for more reasons than just punchlines. And now, a Razorface video is reigniting conversations about just how involved he was. In the clip taken while the comedian was on his way to dinner at West Hollywood's Lavore restaurant, paparazzi pressed him about his connections to Diddy's now infamous parties. Specifically, he was asked if he'd seen the massive amounts of baby oil that investigators reportedly found at the Act Bad rappers' Miami and La Mansions. Kevin's response, classic deflection. When I hosted for Diddy, hair repeated with a smirk, clearly. Caught off guard? You're asking the wrong person. The wrong question, man. It's not a good question. He was asked again, more directly this time. Did he think Diddy will he be safe in jail? Kevin stuck to script. Wrong person, wrong question. He repeated, walking quickly into the restaurant with his wife, Annika Hart by his side, clearly uninterested in giving anything away. But here's where things start to get a little murkier. This wasn't just some one-off celebrity appearance. Kevin Hart wasn't a random guest. He actually hosted one of Diddy's infamous hotel parties. And not just any party. In 2010, Hart took center stage at a wild bash held at NYC's London Hotel, a now legendary night filled with alcohol, chaos, and a sea of half-naked women. In the video footage from the event, the Jumanji Next Level actor can be seen casually sitting on the edge of a bubbling jacuzzi, surrounded by women, in bikinish while music blared and cameras rolled. The place looked like something out of a hedonistic fever dream, and this wasn't some low-profile affair. Big names roulette throughout. Usher, Fabulous, Swizz Beatz, and Combs' Dirty Money bandmates Don Richard and Kenna Harper were all there dancing, drinking, and living it up while Kevin played host. He WASN single quotes T. lurking in the background. He was part of the main attraction. So when Kevin gets on stage and cracks jokes about getting down after parties or throw shade about slippery baby oil situations, it's easy to laugh but harder to ignore the fact that he was once right in the thick of it. The growing narrative, especially pushed by voices like Justin Bieber behind these scenes, is that Kevin's humor is actually a shield. That's just jokes. Routine is a carefully orchestrated exit strategy. One that lets him pretend that Diddy fallout doesn't touch him, when in reality, he was far closer to the eye of the storm than he wants fans to remember. And the deeper this scandal runs, the more wrong questions Kevin might have to start answering. As the alls close in on Sean Diddy Combs and the shocking details of his alleged empire of excess continues to unravel, insiders say Kevin Hart isn't the only celebrity sweating behind closed doors, according to sources close to Justin Bieber, who's reportedly been opening up more and more about what he saw during his early years around Diddy. There's a whole list of listers who once ran in those same circles. And Leonardo DiCaprio is among the biggest names being whispered. While most people associate DiCaprio with yachts, models, and Oscar-winning performances, those paying closer attention to Hollywood's darker underbelly know that Leo has long been a quiet fixture at exclusive parties, and not just the red carpet. Industry sources claim that DiCaprio was more involved in Diddy's notorious late-night gatherings than the public ever realized. These weren't casual pop-ins or surface-level appearances. We're talking behind-the-scenes hangouts, private rooms, and invitation-only experience that went far beyond champagne toasts and DJ sets. But the moment things started to shift when allegations began surfacing and law enforcement started sniffing around Diddy's affairs, Leo reportedly did what Leo does best: disappear. He didn't just fade into the background. He strategically pulled away, removing any trace of Baza connections from his public persona. No comments, no associations, no mentions, just clean breaks and calculated lens. This kind of distancing isn't technically new for DiCaprio. He's mastered the art of staying visible while keeping his private dealings completely off their radar. But even for someone as media-savvy as Leo, the ties to Diddy's world are becoming harder to scrub. The guest lists, the photos, the whispers from people, like Bieber who saw too much too young, it's all starting to stack up, and Bieber isn't being subtle behind the scenes. He's reportedly been naming names, talking about people who were around for things that didn't sit right with him even back then. He's not accusing everyone of wrongdoing, but pulling back the curtain on how many famous faces were there, faces that now are pretending they weren't, faces that once mingled in the same rooms. Kevin Hart made jokes about Diddy, allegedly used as personal playgrounds. So, while Kevin might be the one catching heat right now for turning his past into a punchline, don't be surprised if more big names start surfacing. If Leo really thought Heckle just ghosted his way out of this mess, he might want to think again, because the truth in Bieber's growing list is getting harder to ignore. Hollywood's golden boy, Leonardo DiCaprio, is now finding himself incredibly close to the chow surrounding Sean Diddy Combs, as old photos of the Oscar-winning actor ratting one of the rappers in famous birdies have resurfaced online, and they are causing quite a stir. While DiCaprio has long been regarded as a respected Denverton activist and film icon, the resurfaced image taken years ago, a tone of Diddy's star-studded white parties, has dragged him back into a world he has reportedly been trying to distance himself from for years. In the photo, Leo is seen rubbing elbows with music and fashion elite, flashing that signature smirk, seemingly carefree and kind of high-profile anything ghostment that is now being dissected under a much darker lens. That lens, of course, comes from the serious legal storm is brewing around Diddy, who at 55 is facing explosive
This is the most disturbing Diddy clip that I've seen so far, and it really honestly makes you realize that everyone who went to these parties isn't so innocent.
Okay, we gonna have DJ Cassidy right now get on the ones and twos. We fed y'all, we gave y'all some drinks, now it's time to enjoy life. This is a celebration of life. This is a legendary white party. It's the real white party. Make some noise if you've been here before. Okay. And to all the kids have like an hour left. So get extra after that, y'all gotta go. It's a wrap for y'all, because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to. Okay? So, let's just start to get our groove on a little bit. In an hour, we put the kids away. It's all good. Hey, DJ.
Allegations ranging from assault, all allegedly committed during or around the same kinds of wild mansion gatherings Leo once appeared at. These were not your typical Hollywood parties. Diddy's events were legendary. For their opulence and excess overflowing with booze, celebrities, music, and allegedly far more sinister moments behind closed doors. Celebrities like Justin Bieber and Paris Hilton and Jennifer Lopez were known to frequent the parties. And for years, they were seen as the ultimate status symbol in the entertainment industry. But now, they are rapidly becoming synonymous with scandal, lawsuits, and deeply disturbing allegations. The viral picture does not place DiCaprio at the center of any wrongdoing. It was enough to stir speculation online. The Titanic star reportedly responded to the chatter, letting it be known through closed sources that he was merely a guest during the more public-facing days off Diddy's parties, and never engaged in or was aware of the activities now being exposed. He has not been in contact with Diddy for years. A source close to DiCaprio said he never attended any of those so-called freak-offs. He went to the white party like everyone else in Hollywood back then. That was it. It is a distancing move many public figures are now scrambling to make, especially as Diddy's former associates going forward. One of them, ex-staffer Philip Pines, recently dropped some crazy allegations in a lawsuit. Pines claimed that Diddy orchestrated over-the-top parties at his homes, going so far as to outfit rooms with dim red lighting, trays of marijuana, and drugs. Herbal supplements and adult equipment that allegedly left permanent damage to homes themselves and psychological scars on those involved. DiCaprio's camp wants it to be very clear he was never part of that side of the empire. Still, the line between attending and knowing is growing thinner by the day. And for someone like Leo, whose image has always been tightly controlled and famously diabolical, even a whiff of scandal cloud threatened to taint the legacy he has spent decades building. Whether their surfaced photo is just an innocent memory or a thread that leads somewhere, it remains to be seen. But in a town like Hollywood, silence does not always mean distance. And the past rarely stays buried for long, despite Leonardo. DiCaprio's camp insisted he was just an innocent party guest long ago and had nothing to do with the darker side of Sean Diddy Combs' infamous gathering. She courtroom drama suggests otherwise during the intense cross-examination of Diddy's former assistant Mia is shocking. Details emerged that cast serious doubt on the carefully crafted narrative of ignorance and innocence. Mia alleges she suffered physical and abuse at the hands of Combs, was grilled by Diddy's defense team over a series of text messages she sent after being fired. What stood out was the fact that these texts were surprisingly positive, even affectionate, painting a very different picture than what one might expect from someone who had just experienced trauma at the same person's hands. One of these texts referentially endowed DiCaprio by name in a story about the party atmosphere, a direct connection to the star that complicated official story of distance. The message read in part, "Love you too, and the only things to remember are the good times, and those are the only memories I have. Haha, like freaking hysterical owns. I'll send you everything I've got. I remember even before you have videographers with us. I carried around little iVid thing. I found those too, completely. Forgot about them." So many magical, hilarious things like drinking 1942 on the Parrot Cay Beach and champagne under the Eiffel Tower at 4 a.m. in the dark and singing with Jimmy on Interscope and MC Jagger trying to take me home. But I ran away and I beat caves, where I got a 7-inch scar and a Y 5.00 when you punched that expletive for talking expletive tome and launching revolt and that random underground Baccarat game where Jalo wouldn't pay out. And I stayed on the U won 650 grand and that little prick away from me and Leo Dyke a prior grabbed my pink bedazzled Blackberry and you said that Titanic, mother expletive .doesn single quotes Tino anything of her. He .1000 when I won 650,000. Hi he gosh there are trillions of stories that are amazing and that's not even all of it. As the whole Diddy scandal keeps blowing up, more and more names are popping up in the rumor mill. And guess who? Justin Bieber thinks he is caught up in all of this. Yep, Oprah Winfrey, the queen of daytime TV, the media giant, the woman who seems untouchable. According to Bieber, Oprah might not be as innocent as everyone thinks. Here's where things get really messy. Oprah Winfrey's name isn't just casually tossed around. It's tangled up with some of the biggest and darkest scandals in Hollywood history. We're talking Harvey Weinstein, Sean Diddy Combs, and even Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, the whole nightmare package. Weinstein and Oprah were close for years. So close that Weinstein used that connection to prey on women. Actress Dawn Noble spilled the tea, saying Weinstein literally used Oprah swinging off his arm to convince her to come back to his hotel room. That's a chilling level of manipulation, and it shows just how deep this runs when Harvey Weinstein's crimes finally blew up. Oprah tried to sidestep the fallout, distancing herself without ever directly addressing her friendship. Instead, she dropped a line to CBS News, saying, "If we make this just about Harvey Weinstein, then we will have lost this moment," basically trying to shift attention away from Weinstein and himself as the villain and instead paint herself as some kind of bigger picture hero. But not everyone bought it. Performer Frenzil went straight for the jugular on Instagram, calling Oprah out for being part of the problem for decades. Seal didn't hold back, posting a pic of Oprah kissing Weinstein on the cheek and saying, "You'd heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually serious assaulting young, starry-eyed actresses. My bad, ouch." And Weinstein isn't even the worst of it. Oprah has been spotted at Diddy's wild parties, the very same parties now under serious investigation for horrifying allegations. Plus, her name pops up 5 times in the court files from the Jeffrey Epstein case. That alone sends major red flags. So yeah, when Justin Bieber says he thinks Oprah might be involved in this whole mess,